Oh look, the output of a stock FJ headlight. Hey guys, so we're back. At the end of the last video, I know I mentioned the Stealth series coming from Freedom Outfitters for FJs, both the headlights and turn signals, and that is what you see in front of me right now. I have the opportunity to install them on my FJ before they've been released. They'll be up on the website soon and you'll be able to purchase it, and at the end of the video, I will actually give you the discount code that I have to share for all of Freedom Outfitters products. And I will also put that in the description for you, just in case it's not clear. So these headlights, I will show you all the features once they're on, but it's an LED projector headlight, and then the two connect together to have a white startup sequence that runs through them, and then you've got the amber turn signal on the side. So I will show you all of that. What we're also going to do today is pull off the grill, and I'm just going to run you quickly through how to install a set of FJ headlights. It's quite easy. I've done it many times over the years, so now to me it's just sort of like second nature. But just for people who are doing it for the very first time, I thought while I'm showing you the new lights, I might as well show you how to install them as well. So we're going to get right to that. Okay, so for pulling off the grille and headlights, you're basically going to need just two things. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. I'm not sure if the clips on my grill are the factory ones. I believe I changed them out a while ago, but a flathead should still work for the factory ones from what I remember. So basically, what you want to do is you want to detach the grill first. So there's going to be a bolt here and a bolt here, and then there's a clip on each end. So we'll just quickly do that. I guess it's also what, probably a 12 mil or something, but works pretty well with a Phillips head. So those two are off, and then I'll just go to the clips. Pop that one clip. Yeah, I don't think this is the factory clip, so I think they're a little hard to get out. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Then I'll have one extra step with pulling off the grill that you won't. I have my light bar mounted to the back of it. So I'll just put those down there for now. So you just lift these 2 feet off from up on the top, and you're gonna feel the grill doesn't come. It's held in by a whole bunch of clips, and so what you'll have to do, it's going to feel like you're maybe going to break it, but you're not. But you just have to kind of put your hand in there and pull it towards you. So as I mentioned, I have a light bar on the back of my grill, so I just have to unplug that wiring. And a lot of people have asked to see my stealth hidden light bar. I might do a video on it in the future. I normally don't show it off because honestly, it's held on with silicone and zip ties. But this specific bar from Speed Demon Lights fits perfectly in there. It sandwiches in, it's very secure, it doesn't shake off-road. So even though it's a little maybe ghetto in the mounting, it works perfectly. But here, I will just quickly show you. So these are the clips that are holding it in there. So these are the ones you just kind of have to pop out. And sometimes they'll fall out of the grill like the one did on me. But yeah, those are the clips that hold it in once you get those two bolts out. Okay, so the next part to pull off are these little trim panels here. Now, in the FJ community, it's commonly known these fall off a lot and people lose them. So I believe you can actually buy them painted from Toyota. But as you can see, it's held on with these clips just in these square holes here. They just kind of hold it a little bit here. And then the clip that does the main holding is this one here. I swapped out my clips at one point, just found some generic ones of the same size because my factory ones just weren't holding the panels very securely. And once that clip lets go, it'll just fly off whether you're on the highway or what. But you need to pull this off because if you forget, when you go to pull the headlight, then this will pop out. I've done that a couple times. And you don't want to drop it because it is body matched and painted, so you don't want to scrape these up. So a lot of people are probably going to ask why I'm changing up my current setup. This was a custom setup I had done by Freedom Outfitters when I was actually running their customer service. So it's basically a one-off. It's the only setup like this in the world. And I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. These are really cool because you can run colors through them. So I've done that at Christmas and for car shows. But practically, the turn signals on these are not very bright. So sometimes people can't see my turn signals. These have a tinted lens to them, like a factory tinted lens. That cuts out a lot of output, so they aren't the brightest retrofit headlights out there. And then there's also a bit of a rat's nest for the wiring. Whereas the new setup is going to be 100% plug and play. I'll show you, but there's one plug for the turn signal, one plug for the headlight, powers everything, does the startup sequence and everything else. So while these are phenomenal looking headlights, the performance of the new ones is just better. It's simpler. It's going to be more reliable. I'm going to keep these ones for now, though. Just if I want to use them for like a show setting or something like that. So to pull off the headlight and turn signal assembly, it's going to come as one unit because they're actually bolted together. The headlight itself has two bolts, one up top and one in the bottom. Some people cut off this bracket when they do an aftermarket bumper, but when we did mine, we just trimmed that bracket. So I still have the lower mounting bolt for the headlight. And then there will be a clip in here that is what mostly holds the turn signal in. So once again, it'll feel almost like you're going to break something, but you just have to pull on that. So I'll just quickly undo those bolts. So we're just going to pop this up and over where that bolt goes, start to pull the headlight itself out, and then just you'll feel that clip give way. And then there's one back suction clip that you can see in here. It just holds the very end. Now I have some extra wiring to undo. If you have the factory headlights, you'll just have already pulled the bulb out of the factory turn signal. I'll just undo some wiring and then we'll pull this whole thing off. Okay, so with the lights, the new ones actually include the clip that you need for the fender. What it doesn't include and what you'll have to steal from your factory lights are the nuts that go on these prongs. And what those prongs are used for is before you install the lights, you'll line them up. This is difficult to do from this side, with these holes here, and that will hold the headlight and turn signal assembly together. So you'll take the 3 little nuts and you'll just have to put them on there and tighten them down so that it turns the headlight and signal light assembly into one. So as mentioned, it's completely plug and play. You'll see 4 plugs here on the back. These 2 actually connect the turn signal to the headlight so that you get the startup sequence that goes through the whole thing. So basically, I will just, maybe once I have both hands, plug this one into that one, and then you're left with just 2 plugs. This one is the factory H4 style plug. That'll plug directly into the OEM wiring on the FJ, and then same over here for the turn signal. This will plug into the factory plug as well. Okay, so when you go to put it back in, it can be a little tricky because you have both these 2 clips here. You got to line the top of the headlight on this part, and then down in the bottom mounting bracket, it's a square hole here, and on the bottom of the headlight where that bolt goes into, the plastic here is square too. So you need to line up all 4 things essentially kind of in the same go. So I'm going to give it a try and see if I can get it at least close. So that one I've got anchored in. The clips are pretty close, and I'll just check that bottom one because it's not where it needs to be. So I might see if I can get that one first actually before doing the fender. Let's just see here. Okay, so I have both for the headlights done. Now I'm just gonna move over here and there. Once again, those clips make a terrible sound, but that means they're properly in there. And the headlight is on. Now I just need to stick the bolts back in. I'm just gonna quickly get the other side on. We'll put the grill back on and then we'll light these up. So one thing I wanted to show you is when you pull off the grill, there's clips that go into the headlights and they should stay in the grill. Like the other side stayed in the grill, but they can pop out and be sitting inside your old headlight. So if you pull off your headlight and it's sticking out like that, make sure you pull that out and put it back into your grill because you're gonna want that for clipping the top to your new headlights. So I just thought I should show that because it happened to me, and if you're not paying attention, you'll be like, why isn't it working properly? So now we're just gonna line the clips back up, and they are lining up perfectly on that side, this side. There we go. Just push in from the bottom, you can hear it clip. Push from the top, you can hear it clip. And then you just have to put the 2 bolts back in that you took out and those 2 end clips, and your grill is back on, except I see this side actually didn't clip in. There we are. And that's fully back on. This is the new setup. We're gonna light them up in 1 second. I just wanna get those bolts in so I don't forget. Okay guys, so they are fully installed now. Everything's back on, buttoned up, plugged in. So I'm gonna start them up so that you can see the startup sequence that runs through both the headlight and turn signal. That's that wire you connect between the 2. So it literally ties them together as one unit. Then I will turn on the main beam of the headlight, and the other thing I'll show you is the turn signal. It's a sequential orange turn signal. On my last setup, the turn signal was a much more like peach or yellowy kind of look, and that got washed out by sunlight pretty easily. But these are nice, crisp orange, so I don't think anybody will have issues seeing my turn signals anymore. So I will go quickly run and do that. And then here's the headlight beams. And then the sequential turn signal. And I'll just turn off the main beam so that you can see those much better. So those are pretty sharp looking. I liked my last setup, but there's something very like angular about this setup, and it just kind of gives a mean look to the FJ. I haven't obviously seen it from far away, but I think these look fantastic. So I am stoked. Well guys, hopefully that was a helpful video, just giving you a quick run through of how to install a set of headlights like this. I know it wasn't in full detail, but just if it's your first time and you pick up either this exact setup or one of the ones similar, most of the ones from Freedom Outfitters, it'll be pretty similar. The plugs on the back could be a little bit different, but it'll essentially be the same as this setup. I do want to mention, a lot of people have actually been asking for this one. I have a discount code now for everything on the Freedom Outfitters website. It's FJMatt10. It's pretty simple, but I will put that in the description just in case it's not fully clear. And so if you go on the website, you can get headlights, you can get turn signals, you can get mirror lights, you can get tail lights. We'll take a quick look at my tail lights because we haven't done that for a few videos yet. I think it's going to tie in with this setup perfectly. When you do the startup, I think the startups are going to be kind of the same amount, like duration, whereas before the headlights would finish before the tail lights. So hopefully you found that helpful. I'm not sure, as usual, what the next video will entail, whether it'll be working on this or a different project. But yeah, I am overly excited for this setup because it's this new angular look that I wasn't actually quite expecting it to be quite this good. And so it's just a kind of fresh look to the front of my FJ. And yeah, so hopefully you like it too, and I'll see you in the next video.